Hey, guys. Welcome to Game Stuff, the official Ep.6, I believe this is now.
Yeah,
we're rolling on
super official.
Yeah, we're super official. Episode
Actually,
6. Wait,
it is official.
Why is it official, Sean?
Because we're on iTunes.
What? Did you just hear that? We're on iTunes with like the Beatles and Led Zeppelin.
Exactly.
All those guys. Yeah,
the Beatles are on iTunes, right?
Yeah, I think so. They're on Spotify, so they got to be on iTunes.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, anyways, this is the weekly video game podcast brought to you by two guys who make games who like to talk about games.
That's
I
us.
am Brad Snyder.
And I'm Sean Crick.
Welcome, everybody.
Yeah.
Let's get into this big news, this iTunes news. We kind of, iTunes kind of stealth dropped us.
Yeah, we were waiting with bated breath on an email. We thought, email, that's all the rage these days.
Didn't they say that they would email us within 14 days?
They might have said that.
Or did they just say that it goes live within 14 days and you just got to fucking check iTunes every day to see if it's on there?
We were under the impression that we were going to get some huge email, a lot of...
fanfare,
fanfare, maybe a party, a gala.
Definitely a party.
Something, because we've got 1 million viewers already.
Yeah.
So we thought it'd be bigger, but iTunes just stealthed us. They put us up.
They ghosted us before we even started with
I just happened to look today because we were getting fed up. You know, we're like 14 days.
Yeah,
we're
what's
pretty
going
much
on?
there.
Tomorrow is 14 days.
Yeah. So I looked on iTunes and we're buried behind 50 other podcasts that don't even have, you search Game Stuff Podcast and there are at least 20 things.
You get stuff that aren't even games. You just get anything that has stuff in it.
And not even stuff.
For some reason before us.
There are things in there that have nothing to do with either of those.
They're not even talking about stuff in there before us.
No.
This is ridiculous.
Yeah, I know.
All right, this is the call to arms then.
Yep.
Everybody listening to the podcast right now, shut it down, light your phone on fire, just throw it in the toilet.
That won't help.
And then get on your computer.
I've got a better idea.
And start reviewing the podcast. Because now's the time. The contest where you win a game for reviewing the podcast, it's live.
I don't know if I like those instructions. They're supposed to
what are your
burn
instructions?
their phone, throw them away, and then start reviewing the podcast?
Yeah.
Don't even finish the review, just start.
Oh, okay.
That's all we care about?
All right,
How
so
about
do
this?
all that.
How about this? You're already on your phone, most likely.
Oh, yeah.
Just click the one button that says review, and then drop a whole review.
Okay. That's a good idea. I like that plan better. Review the podcast. And don't put your phone in the toilet.
Yeah.
Okay.
That would be an accident.
Yeah, but it's exciting. Yeah, we're on iTunes, so we're going to start spreading the word a little more seriously, I guess, since hopefully you can just hit the subscribe button, and then you can just have the feed updated rather than having to look on SoundCloud every week or follow the Twitter.
I'm super happy about this because I would never consume anything that isn't on iTunes in podcast form.
I don't listen to podcasts that aren't on iTunes.
It's just too much hassle.
Yeah.
Seeking it out or paying attention to Twitter to see that something dropped or whatever. There's an RSS feed on SoundCloud, but I just don't think it's as good an experience.
No. So we just want to say thanks to all the people who have been listening on SoundCloud so far already. You're really
the original
appreciate
fans.
You guys. You know, if you've been listening already, but maybe you're new because we're on iTunes, you can write into us at gamestuffpodcast@gmail.com, or you can follow us on Twitter at GameStuffPod. Be a part of the show. Whatever we say, call us out on it. Write in. You
really want them to call us out.
I just want them to call out because I feel like we got to be wrong about things. And I just
did actually get called out.
Did I get called out?
Yeah, because the Clutchba.
Oh, yes, the Clutchba, the YouTube channel.
They wrote in last week and we answered their question and you pointed out that they have an edge because they have an Australian accent and they're English. So they straight up called you out about that and they were very polite about it. But I listened. I'm sorry
about that because I heard that apparently calling an English person Australian or New Zealandish is a fucking terrible thing.
No, it just makes you seem really dumb.
No. I heard that it's disrespectful. They hate that. And Sean needs to stop playing with the desk here that we're recording on.
Sorry. There's the Australian coming out.
Sorry.
So I went and I looked at some of their videos and they are so clearly English. So clearly.
I watched 10 minutes of a Spelunky video and I could have swore that they were Australian.
Yeah.
But even better, they're even funnier because they're English. I'll give them that.
Yeah. They're more refined, articulate.
Yeah, exactly. So anyways, that's the just list of things that we got to talk about at the beginning of the show.
Yeah. Now let's talk about what we want to talk about.
Yeah. What do we want to talk about, Sean?
I think we should probably talk about what we've been playing.
What?
Yeah.
What we've been playing?
So what have you been playing?
Well, Sean, as You may know, but the audience doesn't know. I'm going to be I was going to say out of tune, but I'm definitely always
You're
in
probably
tune.
out of tune.
I'm always in tune. I'm going to be out of town for like 2 weeks coming up. So we're recording this podcast ahead of time. We won't say when because that'll spoil things.
No,
but
we never say when.
No,
we never reveal any information that you could use against us.
About where and when we are.
Yeah. Who we are.
You can't track us down. The time cops out there can't fucking track us down and stop the show before it changes America forever.
Yeah.
But
I like to think that Bruce Willis would be a time cop.
Oh, dude, he totally is a time cop.
He just comes in here wearing his dirty wife beater.
Just shotguns
like usual. Yeah, just shotguns. It's Bruce Willis from a Tarantino film.
Yeah.
That's the one that would time cop us.
Well, I would think it would be Bruce Willis from Looper, which is literally a movie about him being a fucking time cop,
though?
Sean.
Old Bruce Willis or young Bruce Willis?
One of them isn't Bruce Willis.
I couldn't tell them apart.
Oh, it's true. They look like exactly the same person. Yeah, so I haven't been playing too much, maybe nothing new, actually.
Then shut the fuck up and get off the podcast. What are you doing here? You're filling dead air.
No, I'm still playing things, you know. I just, I finished Injustice 2. So I finished,
a fighting game?
The main campaign of the single player.
That's your thing? You finished a fighting game?
Well, they fucking duped me, dude. Like, you finish the game, and they're like, guess what? Guess what? It's not the real ending.
Wow, dude. It's that what is? I thought this game was highly polished and professional.
It was until that happened, and I was like, wah, 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 wah.
Yeah, Kanye West came in, and he was like, ha.
I was like, what? So apparently, I don't know if this is a spoiler or not. I don't think it is.
It sounds like it is.
No, it's just you have to. The game gives you the option to choose which character you want to fight as.
Yeah.
A lot of times in the game, so it's like, oh, right now you're with Green Arrow or Screecher Girl. I forget her name.
What?
I don't know her real name.
Aqua Woman.
Like no, she's got like her main power is she just yells really loud and screeches at you.
I could see that being a pretty realistic power.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So you have the option to choose between those characters. And so you basically have to play through the game and choose all the characters you didn't choose the first time you played through the game and beat those fights as the other characters to get the real ending.
Oh, okay.
And that's kind of annoying because they don't offer like an easy way to do it. So what happens is like you can scroll through the chapters and you can see, oh, in this one I've already beat it as Green Arrow, but I haven't beat it as Screecher Girl. So like when you start that fight, you're like, okay, play it again, Screecher Girl. But the game just continues, and then so you get to the next fight, and it's like, okay, now choose between these two characters again. But I'm like, I don't know which one I picked the first time because it doesn't tell you or show you. So you have to go back out and then look at the thing again and then back into the fight. So you have to, it's kind of really
you
annoying.
can see it on one screen, though.
Yeah, but you have to like back out of the story mode,
so
look at the menu, then go back in.
Yeah.
Granted, I don't know how they do this, but when you like click the fight, the ones that you're looking at in the chapters, it like instantaneously loads.
Yeah.
It is crazy. I don't know how it's so fast. So when you start like story mode, there's like no loading. It just goes right into the game.
I wonder if they just load all the levels.
Yeah.
Because all the levels combined are probably like one.
Well, that, and I think
level.
there are a lot of pre-rendered cutscenes, so I think maybe they can just load up a video file and start playing that potentially. So.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah.
So you're in the campaign, but you're not necessarily fighting.
Right.
Or you're never fighting, actually.
It starts
There's probably always
the
a
cutscene, and then it goes into the fight.
Yeah.
So I finished Injustice 2, like, I guess half of the story. I don't know. It tells me I'm like 67% complete.
Is that half?
Okay.
I was unaware
a little more than
that
half.
67% was half.
Okay. Smart math man over here.
Yeah.
All right,
Just
67%.
keeping you honest.
It's been a while since I've been out of school. 10-year high school reunion coming up for us, by the way, just so you know. Dan Mann's planning it right now. The audience doesn't know who that is, but that's our class president. Also a good friend of ours.
Okay.
So
it's going to be a banger.
Oh, yeah. So I finished Injustice, and then I'm playing a lot more Wonder Boy, and I'm just so surprised at how much I like it.
Yeah.
It's really, really well done. I got to like the third animal transformation now, and the game's really hard.
What is Wonder Boy?
So Wonder Boy, I mean, I think I mentioned it last podcast, but it's a 1989 Sega Master System game.
Yeah.
So it's Wonder Boy 3, technically, The Dragon's Trap. And so the game starts off, you fight this dragon, and then you kill it, but when it dies, it curses you and turns you into like a lizard man. And so then you're just a lizard man and you have to play through and all you can do is shoot fireballs. And then you have to get to the next boss and you fight the next boss and you kill him and then he transforms you into a mouse. So then you're a mouse with a sword and shield. And then you get to the next boss and he transforms you into Piranha Man. So now, right now I'm Piranha Man, which is cool. Piranha Man can swim. So each character you transform into, it then kind of unlocks a new area of the game that you can get into. Like you could see where you needed to get into that place before, but you might not have necessarily had the ability to get there. Like the mouse can walk on walls.
So they Metroid
so it's like
so
they Metroid it up. So the mouse can walk on walls and get around a barrier that you couldn't get before. Piranha Man swims really well. So like normal characters can't swim. They don't jump. Like they don't have a lot of height in water, so they can jump, but they can't like go all the way to the top of the water.
Out of the water.
But Piranha Man can. So it's really cool. The music has been awesome, and the art is just beautiful. So
it was hilarious because I heard you switching between the music, and the old Genesis music is.
It's not Genesis. It's a Sega Master System.
Oh, okay.
So it's before Genesis.
That's crazy. It makes sense because the music is super basic.
Yeah.
And it's interesting because they still do a lot with it and it still has a lot of charm.
Dude, those guys got away with so much. I have no idea how they were able to like represent the things they were able to represent with just 8-bit.
Yeah, just a bunch of like
sound chips.
And any sound effect is just so over the top.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it makes no sense. It's like, well, this is the sound we got.
That's a sword hitting a monster, by the way. I mean, it sounds pretty accurate, so.
Yeah, sure. I mean, for real life, yeah.
Yeah. So I'm playing that, and that's pretty much it. I'm not sure like what I'm gonna jump onto next. I'm kind of wishing there was like a new big Switch game coming out because I'm gonna be flying here soon. I'm gonna be taking my Switch with me, so I guess I'll probably be playing a lot of Mario Kart and stuff like that. But it'll be my first time taking the Switch on a plane, and I'm excited.
Switch on a plane,
Switching on a plane.
There really isn't anything else to play on Switch.
No.
You could get Shovel Knight and play that again.
Yeah, probably not.
You could get Lego City Undercover and play that.
I could.
You're probably going to.
Well, now that you mentioned it,
I planted the seed.
$60 just seems like a little too much for that game.
Yeah, I agree. It's not a game I would play on any other console.
It looks pretty fun though.
Yeah. But not $60.
But anyways, this fucking topic isn't what am I gonna play, Sean?
That's true.
What are you playing?
We don't want to have aspirations or goals.
That's it for me. So I'm just gonna turn it over and just say, Sean.
He's gonna dump on me.
What are you playing?
It's
dude?
mine to deal with now.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
fire's on you, bro.
Oh god, it hurts.
I made that saying up right now.
Yeah, it's
the
a great one. We should write that down.
It's burning hot.
So I had the itch to start a new game, and so I didn't really want to buy anything.
Right. So you scoured through my library.
I came in your room
of
and I was like,
games.
"What do you got in here?"
Brad, what do you got that's physical and not digital? Which
nothing.
Nothing. It kind of sucks. Like I literally buy almost everything digitally.
Yeah.
Because I'm just usually sitting on my bed and I'm like, I want to play a new game. Done. Bought it.
Boom. Done.
Don't have to walk the 5 feet out the door to the Best Buy. You know?
That we live in. Yeah. Now you have to wait for an hour to download it though.
That's true. Actually, it might be faster to just go across the street to Best Buy and pick it up.
Well, even if you pick it up at Best Buy, you still have to install it.
Oh my God! Come on.
There's always something in your way.
Guys who
simple.
make games, figure this shit out.
Yeah, come on. We need instantaneous downloads. So, I ended up finding a game on your shelf that I used to be excited about, and then that excitement faded once I saw reviews.
Your excitement was like out of the roof. Out of the roof. I was gonna say.
And well, okay, it was I guess it went through the roof and then it was out of the roof. Yeah. So technically, we'll go with that.
But then it came back down into the roof.
Yeah, killed us all. So this game is Mass Effect Andromeda.
Whoa!
And I love the Mass Effect series. I'm sure 90% of people love the Mass Effect series.
No, Sean. I love the Mass Effect series.
Oh, you think you love the Mass Effect series?
The Mass Effect series?
No, I said the Mass Effect series.
Oh, okay.
Rewind the tape.
All right, well, let's rewind the
tape.
It. We're rewinding it.
You'll see.
Mass Effect tape?
You got to rewind it further. So, who did you love the most in Mass Effect?
As far as characters?
Yeah.
Obviously, Garrus. Garrus was the fucking bro.
Such a safe answer.
Dude, he was the coolest. Well, no, I mean, okay, my favorite character, and I can't ever remember his name, was the Geth character.
Yeah, why?
From Mass Effect 2.
Why?
Because he was so awesome. I
just a
love
robot.
he was just a badass.
He was the one who
robot.
was kind of like torn apart, right?
I think he was.
He looked like
I think he was fully put together.
He looked like a Roomba dog, and his one side was all torn apart.
Oh, dude, he was not a Roomba dog. Can a Roomba dog carry a gun
Probably.
and have sex with aliens?
Who did the Geth have sex with?
I'm assuming that he has the potential to have sex with aliens.
It's a nice image.
Yeah.
Anyway, Liari is where it's at.
Yeah, Liari, Sean.
Liara?
Liara, yeah.
I forget her name.
This guy never played Mass Effect before.
Anyway, I loved 1 and 2. I think 2 is one of those games that's just kind of perfect. It's a masterpiece. The pacing of that game, the characters that you meet, the missions you go on are all just so tight and awesome.
That is definitely like close to a perfect game.
And then having the culmination at the end where the ending dictates who dies was so cool.
It was great.
Everything you've worked for throughout the game just comes back in that final mission, and that felt so awesome.
So, Sean, tell me more about the game that you're playing.
Sure. But first, moving on to Mass Effect 3.
This isn't games you played, bro.
Everyone had a big poo-poo about the ending, and I just didn't care.
The ending was fine.
The ending was, first of all, it was fine. It was not
It wasn't
horrible.
great,
it was
but it was fine.
It was them trying to tie up so many loose ends. Like, that's impossible.
Yeah.
So it's about the journey, not the destination.
Which one did you get? The green one, the red one, or the blue one?
I have no clue. I think I went for the blue one.
I think I got the green one.
Yeah. They're all the same, so it doesn't matter. I mean, that was the whole argument. But I adored that series so much that the ending didn't really do anything negative.
Totally, I totally agree with your statement about the journey, not the destination, because that's what that game is.
It's about relationships.
That game was a game about the characters.
Yeah. So I was really looking forward to Andromeda because I just love that team and I love what they do. It isn't the same team, obviously. So jumping in, I was immediately off-put by...
Now, okay, I would like to ask, do you think you were immediately off-put because you know the game had mediocre reviews and because the team is a different team?
Nope. Because I mean...
Or did you really just... You feel like you would have organically noticed these issues?
It's easy enough to suspend your disbelief and to kind of like put your biases aside when you're playing a game. And I was really trying to do that because I wanted to give it a fair shake. And I think I did, but in the first 5 minutes, there were enough little just pinpricks that I almost turned it off.
You were feeling it already?
I was almost like, nope, don't have time for this. Next game, I'll download something. You know, like there's.
Wow.
I kind of wanted to play a shooter.
Yeah.
So
we were looking at Shadow Warrior.
I was looking at Shadow Warrior 2.
Yeah.
All these other games. But so the first 5 minutes, there were so many, like the pacing of the intro to that game just completely turned me off. There's no grace to it at all. They don't really introduce you to the world or the story of the characters. And speaking of the characters, they are all so generic so far. No one has a personality.
You know what the biggest bummer to me about that game was? You're playing a game, Mass Effect Andromeda. It's not a sequel to the first 3 Mass Effect games. It's a whole new galaxy, they say.
Yeah.
And every single fucking character is the same alien/humans you've seen in the game so far.
And
they
that
didn't
was
introduce
another
a new character at all.
That was another pinprick for me. It was like, okay, bunch of humans on a ship, cool. And then we get to the first planet. Oh my god, there's alien life! What a surprise! But guess what? It's completely
Humanoid.
man-like, anthropomorphized aliens. And that's a problem that sci-fi has often where like we project things in our own image.
It's not necessarily even a problem. Like, it is literally a design philosophy. And I know this working firsthand on a sci-fi game.
Sure.
That people people enjoying sci-fi content, like, they stick to things that are relatable. Like, you can't stray too far away from what you can relate to as a human being, or people don't like it. And that's kind of like, that is a very strong design philosophy.
If there are no
people tend to
humans.
like things that are more relatable than less relatable.
Yeah.
But so there's a fine line you walk between, right? Where it's like, when you're doing a sci-fi game, one of the easy wins, right, is to put in the skybox 2 planets or something, or 2 moons or whatever, and that's like, that immediately just shows, whoa, this isn't Earth.
Whoa,
like, you can have it. You can have an
pretty much
environment,
Earth, but slightly different.
Yeah, you can have an environment that totally looks like Earth on the ground. You got trees and birds and all that shit. But if you put like a spaceship hovering in the sky and then like 2 moons or 2 suns or whatever, like Star Wars famously did, you know, in New Hope, whatever, it's just like, oh, whoa, that's not Earth they're on. There's 2 suns setting, you know, beautiful, awesome shot, and you can do something simple like that. But that shot, it's still a human guy standing in the desert, just 2 suns.
Yeah.
Sci-fi now.
Sure, but I think I don't disagree with that, but I think there's so much room to explore non-human things and real aliens that are somewhat realistic.
Especially with Mass Effect.
And Mass Effect, you have plenty of humans.
They've already strayed off the path. They've already introduced crazy things.
Yeah, they had the giant like tentacle things, and they had the big cow things. I don't remember any of the names. but yeah, different
love this
languages.
Game, by the way, I just love it.
Different like body shapes and everything. And then you get to this planet, and it's just upright bipedal alien dudes wielding guns.
Well, that's the problem with Mass Effect, because for 3 games you've already been fighting upright bipedal alien dudes with guns. Like they've been doing that for 3 games. We didn't need another one of those.
Well, and back then it was slightly more acceptable because we had colonized the galaxies.
Yeah.
And these were all places that we'd already kind of set our flag, and we knew what these species were. So the interactions were more like between races.
You could make the logical leap that we've shared technology, and that these guys are going to be fighting with guns too, because we.
But now with Andromeda, this is literally this is Interstellar, where you go to a new planet that we thought we knew about, and it's different.
It should be completely confusing.
We didn't even think it had like hostile or intelligent life, and suddenly there are dudes with guns.
Okay.
And that feels like shit.
Do these aliens also speak to you in English?
No.
Okay, well that's good at least.
They just yell stuff in some other language. But I mean, they have voice boxes, and they have all this other stuff.
Right. They're like, we've been watching old episodes of Gilligan's Island. We've totally assimilated the human Earth language.
Exactly. That's all they needed. Gilligan got them through. The vocabulary is so vast. But yeah, I kind of. So I agree with your point that you need something to connect with, but there are so many great pieces of film or books or whatever that explore something completely unrelated to humans through a human lens, and that's all you really need. You need humans to interact with something fucked up.
Well, because we're the best race.
You don't need humans to be the only character.
Yeah.
So like Solaris, the alien is a fucking ocean.
Okay, is this a movie? I have no idea what you're talking about.
It's a book.
Is this a video game?
That was then turned into a movie.
Because I don't understand what it is then. This is game stuff.
Arrival, like the aliens are so different from us that they perceive time differently.
Yeah, and we can't communicate with them.
I think that's
the whole movie is about that.
Exactly, and that's the coolest part of sci-fi is like facing your own mortality through something that you don't understand. Mm-hmm. And so for Mass Effect to completely ditch that and go down the like shooter path and just like guys with guns and oh my god, Andromeda has the same stuff we have and all this other stuff. Maybe they explain it at some point,
like a cop-out.
But it feels very hard to suspend your disbelief. So I was already kind of set back by some of the animations and some of there are actually a lot of audio issues that were kind of interesting.
Oh god, don't even get me near this game then.
Like for instance, in Mass Effect 2, when you're Shepard, the ship blows up and everything, you die basically and all of that. And that scene is really tense. That scene is really tense, and everyone's kind of freaking out. And even at that time, it was a little rough around the edges. It was kind of like there were some screen pops and a little bit of texture loading and stuff like that took you out of it a little. Yeah. But on the whole, it felt good and epic. Now, in this game, the audio just is completely out of sync, and it'll like the music will stop for a second, and then a new scene will obviously start. They're kind of just stitched together.
It's so disjointed.
It's disjointed. It's a lot disjointed.
That is one of my biggest audio pet peeves right there.
Yeah, and I think it's a lot like The Walking Dead and a lot of Telltale's games to me, where you can see where they just tie things together.
Yeah.
You can see the seams, and that was very off-putting. So I think it's a game that I would like to put a little more time into to fully understand, because I played for maybe a couple hours this week. But so far, I can definitely see why it was not rated as highly as
that's
the
one of the
others.
problems with this game, where everyone I've heard talk about it is like, it gets better after like 6 to 8 hours.
Yeah.
And 6 to 8 hours is a really big time investment.
That's a whole game sometimes.
For some games, or like a whole 2 games. For some games, or 3 or 4 or 5,
for all we know.
Depending on how good you are. But that's a really shitty thing to ask people to do. Hey, can you play my game for 8 hours? I promise it'll get good after that. No, make it good at the beginning.
And that's the thought that I always have when I'm going through intros. Like, if the intro doesn't catch me, my gut instinct is I'm putting this down and I'm doing something productive.
Yeah, I'll give them a little bit of leeway. Like, I will play a game for like an hour or 2 hours if it's like, yeah, you got to get past that. Like the latest Wolfenstein was one of those games where it like got really better after the first hour. And it still sucks, but if that's the general consensus is that it's totally worth it, then you should do it. But I don't
Yeah,
think the
for
general
sure.
consensus is that Mass Effect Andromeda is totally worth it.
Well, and I can see all of the rough edges already. And I was thinking back to so many other games while I was playing this. I
they
was
just released a
comparing it
patch
to-
today.
Really?
Too, for it. Like, they're like 1.08. Apparently,
Just
they,
technical
they
stuff.
updated. Shit, what did they update? They added one thing, and then the one thing that really caught my eye was like they updated the male romance options for
okay.
being your male
Yeah.
rider or whatever.
Yeah.
Like, so they
I
added
remember
more
they were
gay,
talking about that.
gay options.
Yeah. I think they had some discussions about that.
Yeah.
In past interviews and stuff.
It's just so funny that that's the kind of stuff that they're like having to add in to like make this a better game. It's like.
Well, I'm glad they're doing it. I mean, I'm glad they're sticking with it and updating the game. But
Yeah, I mean, it's just like that's just makes me want to keep waiting even more to play it.
The last thing I'll say about Mass Effect is that I've been doing this a lot lately. Like Zelda is something that's in the wild. The Witcher 3 is out.
Yeah.
Horizon is out. These are all games that have pushed the entire industry into a new era. It feels like those are better and different than anything we've ever played.
As far as open world games, right?
As far
That's
as
what
open
you're
world
referencing
3D,
here.
yeah, like they've really found a formula. Witcher 3 was notable for its mission design. Like, I swear to
And
God.
yeah, the writing for all of those stories is amazing.
A side quest in that game feels like the best main quest in most other RPGs.
Yeah, totally.
And so that I was thinking about a lot because in Mass Effect, the first thing you're doing is like, okay, you defend this thing while the aliens come at you. And then, okay, there are 3 marks on your map that you have to go to like scan a thing. And then, oh, more aliens are there, so you got to defend again.
and it's just like already boring.
Yeah, and it feels kind of like Destiny with some of the like wait for Tyrion Lannister to reboot the computer while you shoot aliens.
Yeah.
And then it feels like a lot of other open world games where it's like, hey, why don't we just have them like traverse through the world and that's the mission.
Yeah.
You know? And there's not like a really cool objective at the end or anything like that. So it's disappointing so far, but I was ready for that. So it's not like a slap in the face or anything. It's just, I wish more care went into this game, and I wish, I don't know what the situation was. Maybe they needed more time. Maybe they needed more people, but I just wish it wasn't the letdown for the franchise that it is.
Seriously, that just makes me think of The Witcher 3 and its introduction and how amazing that was, where they give you a small map that basically has a subset of like all the things you'll do in the rest of the game. And you just are given free reign in this map that's just kind of like an intro playground.
Yeah.
And I'll never forget like one of the first side quests I did, which totally like just blew my mind because I was like, holy shit, this is a side quest, and it is resonating with me emotionally. Was you have to like, there's a spirit or like a wraith in like near this well or whatever,
well.
like on the outside of the town, and you go up there and they're like, can you just get rid of this thing for us? And then you go up there and then like you find this journal and you find out, like, you start reading about this girl's life and like like how tragic it was and all of the shit that happened to her, and you're following these clues because you have 2 options. I think you can just kill it and get rid of it, or you can try to find a way to cure her. And then like the way that you cure her, I think, is you have to like find her ring or something like that, and you give it to her or put it in the well or something, and then it's like, oh, she's cured and she's gone. Or you can just, I think you can just fight her. I'm not sure. Maybe they
fought her.
Maybe they force you to do the ring thing and you fight her anyways. But the moral of the story here is that like it was a really awesome, interesting story that you followed on this little side quest where like, yeah, there's a ghost over there. Can you kill it? Whereas any other game would just be like, you just go over to the ghost, you kill it, you come back. Where in The Witcher, they're like, no, this ghost has a story. And you're like, you're going to feel sad by the time you finally kill this thing. And they do that all the time.
There's an arc to every mission in that game. And Mass Effect didn't have that so far for the first couple hours that I played. It just wasn't compelling. Like, the moment-to-moment gameplay was not fun.
Yeah.
And there's no excuse for that, so.
Is that it? Is that what you've been playing?
That's the bulk of what I played this week. Just played a little Persona as well, but that's just such a long slog. Like,
I'm still grinding through Magikarp Jump. I just wanted to say that. It's slowing down for me, though. It's kind of a bummer because I finally got Charizard. Like, I really just was trying to save up diamonds to get Charizard. And then Charizard's not even really, like, that cool. All he does is give you, like, a super special item every 12 hours.
oh, wow.
Oh, it's so long. Yeah. But I don't know. I'm going to keep playing it, I think, for at least a couple more days. I just want to see... see like how much slower it gets, because
You've
right
gone
now
too
it's starting
far.
to really slow down.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's it for what we've been playing then.
All right.
Let's get into announcements.
Announcements.
New games that have been announced.
What can I say except announcements? Announcements.
All right, first one. Sean, what do we have here?
Mega Man Legacy 2 announced.
Now this is interesting. Like, wasn't Mega Man Legacy 1 like already like all you needed? Didn't it have all the Mega Man games?
What did that come out on?
All last generation games.
Last gen.
So I guess this is
So I guess that's the difference. Is
officially announced Mega Man Legacy Collection 2
Yeah.
for PC, PS4, and Xbox One.
Let's just get it out on PS4.
The collection will be released on
Xbox One.
August 8th in North America and will cost $19.99 both digitally and at retail. The collection includes Mega Man 7 through 10. Oh, okay, so that's it. So it's the new ones. Mega Man 7 through 10. So 7,
like
8,
part
9,
2.
and 10. A challenge mode with new stage remixes, online leaderboards, and a music player that lets players listen to tracks from each game.
It's kind of crazy how many games are remade these days or repackaged and resold.
They really figured it out.
Yeah.
Like, they figured out, well, here's the problem. You don't have backwards compatibility. So, I can't play my PS3 games on my PS4.
Yeah.
So when they do take a game that I really love, like we were talking about last podcast, where if someone released Dead Space again on PS4,
Yeah.
I would buy it,
Gobble it up.
day one.
Yeah.
So I think if you really care about it, you're going to buy it again, and they know that. So
I saw a story about every $60 game on Switch is available on other platforms, on at least one other platform.
I didn't
And-
even think about it. I was like, what about Zelda? But then I was like, wait, that's on
Yeah,
Wii U.
Wii U.
And then
Mario
so is
Kart
Mario
is
Kart.
on Wii U.
And then another thing that got talked about today is a Wii U game. So we'll talk about it later.
What is it?
I can't say it yet. We'll talk about it later though. But
can't wait.
But so why were they saying that?
So, well, it started out with those. It started out pointing out that everything, all of their first-party games even are ports.
Yeah.
And rehashes. And then they went into, actually, every single $60 game is from another system.
Disgaea 5, Lego City Undercover, Mario Kart, Zelda. I think that's it.
What else? Yeah, I guess
I think those are the only $60
ones.
games. Yeah.
So there's not much, but it's just kind of funny that it doesn't really have its
It's a port machine.
killer app. Zelda is its killer app, but that's
Yeah.
on another console.
Yeah. So
Not that it matters.
Next game that was announced, it was announced and released, which is really interesting.
Way to go.
Monument Valley 2, announced and available now.
Did you play Monument Valley?
I didn't. I honestly don't really know much about it.
Yeah.
Did you try it?
No, I didn't. But this is kind of the puzzle, the perspective puzzles, right?
Yeah,
Where your
exactly.
guy is
It
just
looks like
walking.
an MC Escher painting or whatever.
You come out one door and oh my god, you're upside down on a staircase.
Go get it. It's on iPhone. $5.
Or don't if you're not into that.
So last one, announced this week, a new RPG from Devolver Digital,
Mm-hmm.
The Swords of Ditto. Interesting. Sean,
Now,
tell me something about this.
Isn't Devolver a publisher?
Yes.
So why are they credited for this game over the developer?
Maybe they also develop games now too, or maybe like they
Developed
own...
by One Bit Beyond.
Okay, yeah, I was gonna say I think it's just the same
They're a
way
bigger
EA
name.
is credited for like dice game, like Battlefront. They say EA,
I
but it's
guess,
really
yeah.
Battlefront who makes Battlefront makes
Now you're just
makes
confusing
Battlefront. Dice makes Battlefront.
All right, so ahead of its appearance at E3, Devolver Digital has unveiled a new action RPG with roguelike elements set for release in 2018.
The Swords of Ditto.
The single-player co-op RPG will come to PlayStation 4 and PC early next year, in which players will I don't like the sentence. In which players will
Writer
fight
Sean's
to take
coming
down
out
the
here.
evil Mormo, venturing out on a unique adventure with a new hero each time they play.
Interesting. I wonder if that's kind of like Rogue Legacy.
Maybe. I love Rogue Legacy.
Yeah. So interesting. Seems like it could be cool.
Yeah, roguelikes are
Devolver
all the
Digital has
rage.
been killing it. Like they are
love that
the
publisher.
go-to indie publisher.
Yeah, I
right
love
now. Which can
how
you even
they've
call
built
them
that up.
indie at this point? I don't really understand what that means because I guess they're not doing
Well, for
AAA
them-
games. Is that kind of what it comes down
they
to?
publish 4 indies.
Right.
Like we could make a game and pitch it to them, and they probably would turn us away because we're not indie enough.
Yeah, that's true. we're too mainstream, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's it for announcements. Closing up the announcement horn.
All right,
there.
close that horn.
And let's get into
close
new
up
releases. There's not really much coming up. It's a little hard since we're doing this a little bit earlier. The only game that we can see that's coming out this week on June 13th is Cars 3.
Driven to Win.
Where did this game come from?
The movie.
I didn't even
Probably
know
the movie.
Disney was making games at all anymore. I thought they were pretty much shut down.
No, actually, no, someone we know just got hired at Disney Interactive.
That's Dave.
Oh, yeah.
But
So it's still a
they're doing
thing.
like iPhone games. So maybe this is done by Disney Interactive.
They could
in
have
some way.
also licensed it out, for all we know, and they're just publishing it.
Yeah, that's true.
But this is the doldrums of summer, right? Like
Yes,
this
the
is,
doldrums of summer.
This is when it begins. This is
yeah,
when
this is
games
where we're gonna
stop
like
coming
really
out.
because we don't see anything else coming out this week.
There's
I'm
no
sure there's gonna
Batman.
be other games like other digital games.
Batman was the one that would continuously come out in like when was it? It was either May or August, I think.
Well, I think that was only Arkham Knight that came out.
I thought it was all of them. I
in
thought
June or
I thought
July.
they always
Maybe
dropped
they did.
over the summer.
Yeah, there's not really much going on.
Either way,
right
we had
now.
a damn good April.
So this is Warner
so-
Brothers actually who's making this.
Okay.
They're making a game for Disney. Now, we don't get a lot of licensed games these days, and this game, honestly, it looks kind of fun. It kind of looks like a car combat game, like
Yeah.
a racing game with combat. So maybe just like Mario Kart, but with cars.
Yeah.
So, well, I don't know. We'll see what it's like, I guess. It's coming out on PS4, Xbox One, and Switch. So, if it's good.
I mean, I already have Mario Kart on Switch. I don't think I'm
I
gonna buy
don't
cars.
think you need like the shitty Mario Kart on Switch.
Unless
I mean,
it's amazing.
the game could be great. So, I don't
We'll
want to
see.
say I don't
We'll
want to
see.
say that
Yeah,
ahead
we'll
of time.
reserve our judgment.
Yeah, that's it for new releases. I think
All
that
right.
means it's time for. Sean, what's going on this week? Tell us, please.
I will
Everyone.
tell you
Tell everyone what's
right
going
now.
on this week.
Final Fantasy 14 in talks for Switch and Xbox One.
What?
Now, how will that work? Xbox One, sure, it's on PS4, but Switch?
Well, how about you read the article for us, Sean?
Fine, make me read. Final Fantasy XIV could yet come to Switch and Xbox One, with developer Square Enix confirming that discussions with Nintendo and Microsoft are ongoing. Director Naoki Yoshida has previously said that he would like to bring the game to both consoles, but news on that front has been somewhat quiet. Speaking with Finder, however, whatever that is,
who the
Yoshida
hell
once
is
again
Finder?
reiterated his desire to bring the MMORPG to more platforms than PlayStation and PC, and made clear that talks are in progress.
All right,
so
well,
this sounds like non-news.
Expect the Switch port of Final Fantasy 14 in 4 years.
Well, first they have to release the original Final Fantasy 14, and then they have to do the Realm
Oh,
Reborn
right. They have to
thing
redo the
and
whole game
reset it
because
all,
they screwed it all up.
and make it again, basically.
Yeah, I agree. This does kind of sound like non-news. It sounds like it's kind of just clickbait on IGN's website to just get people who want Switch games
Yeah.
to click on their link.
I mean, of course he wants it on other platforms. That doesn't really mean anything.
Yeah, exactly.
Talks are always in
Everyone would
progress.
want their game on as many platforms as possible,
Yeah.
especially since Switch is like hotcakes right now. You know,
Hotcakes.
everyone's just
Selling
picking
like
them up.
hotcakes.
You know, hotcakes must have been
I feel like
so popular.
Yeah, we got to
when they came
update
out.
that because it's 2017. Who is buying hotcakes?
No one. I mean,
No
like
one.
McDonald's is trying to sell them to you, but you'd rather have a McMuffin. Everyone knows
Exactly.
that.
Yeah, sausage egg McMuffin.
Or McGriddle. Oh my God, those are so good. That's kind of like hotcakes. They took a sandwich and put it in between syrup-infused hotcakes.
By God, Bradley, you're right.
Fuck. All right, I guess it's still relevant.
They are still selling like hotcakes, I guess.
Okay, next story, Sean.
Elder Scrolls making freemium game?
What?
Bethesda Game Studios is making a bleeding edge AAA freemium game.
Oh no.
You know what they're
I
gonna do?
don't like freemium.
They're gonna take Elder Scrolls Online and they're just gonna flip it to free to play and say, there you go.
Oh, you think?
No.
You know,
They wouldn't announce it like
Elder
this if
Scrolls
they were.
Online Morrowind came
Yeah,
out
that
this
just
week,
came out,
and
yeah.
it apparently looks. Apparently, it's pretty good.
People like it. I was watching the video review actually on IGN earlier today, and it looks like Morrowind.
and that kind of makes me want to
No,
play
I mean it looks like the original Morrowind.
Yeah, and
like,
that
it doesn't
kind of makes
look
me want to
better.
play it for some reason.
I
I don't
almost
know why.
thought that it was the original. I was like, are they just showing me Morrowind right
Yeah.
now for reference or something? Nope.
I
the characters look better.
Never play MMOs, and the Elder Scrolls Online
It's
has
enticing.
been calling to me
Yeah,
lately.
yeah.
I don't know why. I think it's maybe because we haven't gotten an Elder Scrolls game in a long time.
Yeah.
And I don't know why it's calling to me. And then I looked at upcoming releases for Switch today, and I saw like Elder Scrolls 5, Skyrim, Switch, supposed to be this fall sometime.
I will probably play that on
I think
Switch.
I'll play it on Switch too.
Yeah.
If they get trophies in on Switch, that would really sell it for me because
Not happening,
I
dude.
want to get that platinum. I want to go back and get that platinum.
They're not even selling their online service until next year.
Oh God, you're right.
Trophies are probably so
not
far
coming.
down their priority list.
Oh man,
They haven't
Okay.
even mentioned the virtual console yet.
That's true, and we're going to be getting into E3 predictions a little bit later, so
Yeah.
that may be one of them. So, Sean,
Probably.
tell us about this freemium game.
So, developer behind the Elder Scrolls and Fallout series is making what it describes as a bleeding-edge AAA freemium game. A job listing spotted by NeoGAF user Nerolac.
Shout out to Nerolac.
For a game performance manager at the company's Montreal studio reveals little more than that phrase.
So another bullshit
but
article
confirms
from
that the
IGN.
unannounced game will be taking on a free-to-play business model.
Well, I think that's all we really need to say there.
Next.
Next story.
PSVR hits 1 million units. I thought this happened a while ago.
I thought so too. I think maybe
They were
they
at
were
like
just
900,000.
They were so close at Christmas. I wonder if it just really slowed down.
Yeah, so has surpassed 1 million units sold worldwide after reports earlier this year indicated over 900K units sold. So that, yeah, I heard that story. So maybe this is far over 1 million sold or something like that. It doesn't really make sense.
What's kind of endearing is that they say further on in this article that they've sold over 5 million PSVR games.
That's cool.
So that's really good. So that means hopefully the people that are making those games for the PSVR are making some money.
Yeah, yeah.
Because damn, that is a risk to release something on a system that has less than 1 million units.
Yep.
Yeah, that's scary.
Well, that's why it makes sense for them to kind of adapt experiences to VR or to at least have something that you can play outside of VR.
Yeah.
Or that you can put on Oculus, Vive, everything else.
Yeah. Well, next story, Sean.
Hellblade release date announced. What is Hellblade?
What is Hellblade? Wait, you don't know,
What is
Sean?
Hellblade?
It's the
Oh, this
Ninja
is the
Theory
Ninja Theory game? Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
So let's read the the subtitle. Hellblade, Senua's Sacrifice.
That's interesting because this game I don't think had a colon after it before. I think it was just Hellblade. And I'm wondering if something happened to this game to make them cut down the scope. Because they seem to
It's $30.
emphasize they emphasize that the game is now going to be like half of a AAA game. Did you see
They
that?
said that?
Yeah. So read us.
Oh, yeah.
Read us the
So-
information here.
Ninja Theory's upcoming action game, Hellblade Senua's Sacrifice, will release for PS4 and PC on August 8th.
Yeah, and then they
According to product
Yeah.
development manager Dominic Matthews, Hellblade is half the size of a AAA game, and as such, will be available at half the price.
Now, how do you quantify
Yeah.
what half of a AAA game is? I feel like you could do a whole episode on this question alone.
Skyrim, you could play
because-
for 1,000 hours.
Yeah. Or Zelda, Breath of the Wild. Like,
Or Doom, you could play for less than 10 hours. Or Uncharted, you could play for 10 hours.
yeah, or 8 even. So I'm like, what is a AAA game? I am very, very confused by that statement.
This is kind of funny
And
because...
it makes me wonder if they were like, well, okay, here's the whole game we were planning on making.
Yeah.
We had to end it halfway. So that's half of a AAA game.
a little
That makes
odd.
me think that we're going to get to like this game is going to feel very unresolved by the time you
Yeah.
finish it because they're like, let's get the game out now and then hopefully it'll pay for the sequel.
Well, maybe they had a 2-character thing going on. Because you remember Enslaved, they had... The 2 characters are really important to them.
So did what was the first one that they
Heavenly
did?
Sword?
Heavenly Sword. That had 2 characters as well.
Oh, that's true. Speaking of Heavenly Sword, that game was probably 6 hours. And that was the definition of a AAA
Yeah,
game.
that was a short game.
That was huge budget. One of the PS3's biggest launch window titles.
That game was beautiful
beautiful. Felt really cool.
Had an awesome story and really cool actors.
Combat system was really cool.
The combat was cool. And my favorite thing about that game was the first game that I'd ever seen this, where they did like the game would split the screen and show you two angles at the same time.
Yeah.
So you'd like see a close up of the boss you're fighting as you're like on the bottom half of the screen running towards them. So they're literally rendering the game in two different spots, which is really cool. And that just made that game really awesome.
Yeah.
So I'm excited for this. I hope it's good. I think it looks pretty. You were complaining about the animation and stuff like that, but
yeah. So I've had this problem with a lot of Ninja Theories games.
Yeah.
With one female character in particular. So Kai from Heavenly Sword, and then the main female in Enslaved, and then this girl. It's always a girl that has the same, like, I don't know if it's the same actor or something.
It seems like maybe they overact a little bit, like their mouths over move.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is. It's like at the edges, the mouth is just curling up too far. It's like, yes, I'm a human. I'm talking.
I think it looks pretty good, but it's definitely it's staying in that uncanny valley like era of animation. It's like Jeff Bridges from Tron, you know, where it's like, well, I mean, it looks really good, but
but it's not my Jeff Bridges. I mean, that's where games are right now. And actually, Horizon was really interesting to me because that was the first time. Well, there were other times that animation blew me away, but I think that was the first time that I saw a character and it didn't just look like an animated character. It looked like a specific person with a personality.
Yeah, dude,
like,
Aloy.
The way Aloy moves her
looks
mouth,
amazing.
I could see someone in the world having those quirks and those characteristics and just being kind of unique.
They did a great job with her facial expressions being very subtle. They weren't overacted.
Yeah.
Like she would like raise an eyebrow and then like she genuinely would look like confused. And it was like the most amazing confused look I've ever seen in a game.
And her mouth was like slightly open in a weird way.
Yeah.
Like, her teeth were not just perfectly set and all that other stuff. Like, I think the imperfections really made her stand out, which was amazing.
Had freckles.
Well, that's perfect.
That's pretty
Everyone
imperfect.
loves freckles.
Yeah, everyone knows that people with freckles are a little shady and just kind of not trustworthy. So
they're Slytherins.
All right, we have one last story. This is a big one to wrap up the roundup here. Dude, it's big, man. We saved the big ones for the last story, dude.
Okay.
You don't think this was big?
No.
I don't think that the news is what we wanted to hear, but that still makes it big though. There was a Pokemon Direct.
Yeah, it was 8 minutes long, and they announced essentially 3 things. Gold and Silver are coming to 3DS.
Virtual
not
console.
Switch.
Virtual console.
Yeah, Virtual Console.
So we don't have Virtual Console on the Switch, so how could we get
Soul
it?
Silver and whatever Gold.
Yeah, but they updated them with like online trading and all of that, so like they're totally compatible with like the current up-to-date Pokemon
But the same,
games.
the old graphics and the old 4:3 aspect ratio.
Yeah, and the old music.
And they're not on Switch.
And they're not on Switch.
Who cares?
Okay, next games. What were they?
Ultra Sun and Moon.
Sean, now these were on Switch, right?
No.
What?
Sorry.
Not on Switch?
Don't hate me, hate Nintendo.
Everyone on the internet was waiting for the Switch versions of Sun and Moon.
That's all we wanted.
Knew we were going to get stars, right?
That's all we wanted. Stars.
So this announcement was super ambiguous and just kind of like made me scratch my head. Ultra Sun and Moon.
Yeah.
This game came out, what, last year on 3DS?
I think it was maybe 2 years ago.
Sun and Moon? It wasn't that long ago, dude.
Oh, it was last year. Yeah,
it was last year. So then this year, we're getting another Sun and Moon. It's the same game, but just enhanced in some way.
Well, there
they
are
don't
some
even
new
tell
Pokemon.
You. They don't tell you. Yeah, like,
they
there's
do.
A couple
they tell
new
you a
Pokemon.
little bit. They dribble some information.
Yeah, there's a couple new Pokemon and a new like form for the Ultimates or whatever.
It basically boiled down to them saying like, we want to bring you the same game again.
Yeah, and
it was very thinly veiled. There was no substance. I don't think people are asking for this.
Why? Yeah, why are they giving this to us? I don't understand. Like they've never done this where it's not even a sequel. It's the same game.
Yeah, and I'm not sure why they even had the Pokemon Direct, honestly. Like these are not announcements that you want to really call that much attention to.
I think they wanted to get it out of the way before E3, right?
Sure.
Like, so they're like, yeah, we want to announce these games, but we don't want to do it at E3 because no one fucking cares.
Yeah. But if you have fans clamoring for one thing, if they want a game on Switch, whether it's Stars or something else, and they're so hyped up about it, you don't want to basically bait them in with a Direct that's focused on Pokemon.
Well, I mean, yeah, because they said it. man, they announced it the day before it happened, and everyone just freaked out. And like even the Reddit threads were like, we're going to be disappointed, and we're all going to be wanting to be killing ourselves tomorrow, right?
Yeah.
And that's exactly what happened, because you got this direct, and this direct. I mean, even IGN has an article on the front page that's Nintendo swings and misses big time with Pokemon Direct.
Yeah.
Like, no one is excited about this direct announcement, because then the last game. What's the last game?
The third announcement was Pokken, like the Pokken tournament game which
is Tekken with Pokemon.
Yep, and it kind of looks like a cool fighting game.
Yeah, but
it's probably fun.
But who? Like,
but who's asking?
This
for
is
that?
another. This is now like this is starting a scary trend of Nintendo's just giving you the games they couldn't sell on Wii U on the Switch.
Yeah.
Don't. Don't do
you hear
this,
that, Nintendo?
Don't stop.
Brad versus Nintendo.
Yeah, give us new things. Like, don't try to force all of these games on us again, and at $60. Like, if you're gonna do this, if you're gonna sell us the same games so soon after they came out, at least make them cheaper.
Yeah,
that's
make them cheaper.
Frustrating. Like Mario Kart at $60. Oh my god!
I think I was okay with that, because Mario Kart is a game that I'll play for years, and you can always come back to it.
I don't think that's okay for the people who maybe bought it on Wii U, though. You know what I'm saying? Like, but if they bought a Switch, like, they're Nintendo's loyalist fans.
Yeah.
They're punishing the Wii U owners. They're like, hey, we know you already bought this game for full price. Just buy it again, full price.
For full price.
And it's
I agree. That would lessen the pain. I think if they had a more stable lineup right now of other games that weren't just rehashes, that would make this feel better too.
Yeah.
Then it's kind of a side thing. It's like, well, I'm going to pick up this cool new IP or the new Metroid game, and then I'm going to get Mario Kart.
This is the next game on that list you were talking about earlier, though. This is a game that's going to be a $60 game. I mean, I'm predicting. I could be wrong, right?
Yeah.
But there's 99% chance that this is a $60 game on Switch, and it's been out on another platform already. Yeah. It's an old game.
Yep.
This is an old game. They're selling it to you for full price. Old game. It's not even like, oh, this was a 5 or 10-year-old game and like now it's in HD graphics. It's like, this game came out 2 years ago on Wii U. No one bought it, so have it again.
Yeah. Well, and they didn't really.
But you get the DLC.
They didn't even emphasize that in the direct. I don't even know if they mentioned that. They just kind of pitched it as a new game, pretty much. Yeah. So it's really, I don't know.
This is not the Pokemon game anyone wanted. In fact, when I was going through the Reddit threads, it was like there was one post that was like, what's the worst case scenario for the direct tomorrow? And like the top voted answer was Pokken.
Yeah.
Pokken re-released on Switch.
Yeah.
And that's what we got.
And then it happened.
And it's just like, oh, guys.
Yeah.
You're far off the mark here. Not what they want.
And they'll recover. And I mean, we did just get Pokemon games.
It's not going to stop people from buying the Switch. Yeah. I'm not saying this is negatively impacting the Switch. I'm just saying.
No, I mean Game Freak.
This isn't what Pokemon fans wanted.
Yeah, I mean Game Freak. Like they came out with new Pokemon games last year. So they don't necessarily need to do anything this year, but I almost think nothing.
The Pokemon company doesn't even make Pokken though. That's a different team. Like like I said, I think it's the Tekken team that made Pokken.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Well,
that's why it's called Pokken. It's like Tekken Pokemon.
The others though, it was in Game Freak or Pokemon Company's hands to give us something cool, or just not talk about it.
Yeah.
Like,
why
Gold and Silver are awesome. A lot of people love those games. They're actually my second favorite.
Those are my
Pokemon
favorite
games
for sure.
Behind Yellow. But that could have easily been a blog post or easily been like a quick nod at E3 or something. Like that would have been fun, but right now it's just shrouded in all this negativity.
Yeah, the other thing that's frustrating is just that when they were releasing, and people were like, you know how the Pokemon Company works, they keep releasing games on the last platform while the new one's even out. Like they're like, you got Black and White on DS when 3DS was out. The one major factor there that's different, you could fucking play DS games on your 3DS. Mm-hmm. We can't play these 3DS games on our Switch. Yeah. So people if you just even let me play that exact same game, not even higher resolution, I would be like, okay, whatever, that makes sense. You want to sell it on this platform that's got
not higher resolution would be a horrible experience.
I'm just saying, like, at least you could play it, because you can't even play it in any way on the Switch. And it was the same way with 3DS. You played those DS games on the bigger screen, and it looked bad. So I don't know. that was a bummer. That was a bummer for me.
It's a bummer, and it's because people love Pokemon. I mean, that's the positive thing out of this is like people really care. So Nintendo, just give us what we want, and they have branched out too. They had Pokemon Go and they had Magikarp Jump, which took a lot of time and effort from that IP, not from the Pokemon company, but
yeah, I still need to look up who made that game.
Oh, Pokemon Jump or Magikarp
Yeah,
Jump.
Pokemon Jump.
Magikarp Jump.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. So they have offerings out there on the market, but I don't want one of my favorite franchises to get watered down like that. It happened to Kingdom Hearts too, where they spiraled out of control, never gave us the third game, and now that game is coming. Who the fuck knows when?
3 years or so.
Or
Sean.
so. About
3 years
roundabout.
or so.
So that's just sad when you see that. When you see this franchise that has a future, and then they don't take the straight line to the future. They just kind of like do things that you don't really want, and it makes you wonder where they're getting like their feedback from, and if they really have the same mindset as gamers, you know.
Don't worry, Pokemon Company, you're doing a great job. Your mommy's proud of you.
Come back home and I'll hear your Pokemon.
Keep making Sun and Moon. You did a good job. People liked it. Hawaii.
Hawaii.
That's it. We've wrapped up the roundup.
All right, well, let's do the main topic.
Dude, this is an exciting main topic. This is our first time doing this. Like we've said before, we've listened to video game podcasts for a long time, and a lot of our favorites for a while now have been doing E3 predictions. So we're going to do it too.
Yeah.
We want to be just like them.
But better.
So we're going to be giving you guys 3 predictions each for the three big conferences / companies, I guess. So we're going to do Nintendo, Microsoft, and Sony. So we each have 3 predictions for them. And we still haven't figured out like what's like the consequences will be for losing these predictions.
Probably
we'll
death.
figure it. Probably death. And or like just a fight to the death. Wait, but then
you'll always die.
No, I'll win is what I was going to say.
I doubt it.
So yeah, we'll figure that out. We'll probably tweet it out. Or something, just follow us on Twitter. You know,
it has to be a competition.
Oh yeah, it has to be.
It can't just be predictions.
There can't be
recourse.
no consequence. Yeah, there has to be serious repercussions for someone failing. At
least an arm and a leg.
At least.
At the very least.
And an eyeball.
No, we should do tongues because then you can't podcast anymore, and that's like
real and then that's it. Then you just have to replace yourself with someone else. I have to replace you because you're
have to be
losing.
Replaced. Yeah, you'll probably.
Well, let's get into it, dude.
Want to be replaced?
I'll start it off, and
Go for it.
I think since we've been on this Nintendo train, we're gonna start there.
Okay.
My first prediction about Nintendo, and out there, take notes, keep track of who's right and who's wrong after these conferences go live. And actually, I think because this is releasing on Monday, Microsoft conference will already have happened because it's happening Sunday night, and then Nintendo, are they Tuesday? I think they're Tuesday. So I think we'll get this out before Sony and before Nintendo, but not before Microsoft. So my first prediction, Nintendo, their Direct is going to have one segment where it's not humans. It's either an animated or a puppet character.
That's good. Not
talking
humans.
to you. Yeah, there's going to be at least one segment where it's not a human that's giving you the information.
So in their Switch reveal, the dude talking about Squid, he was human, so that wouldn't have counted, right?
Right.
Okay, so then is there an example of them doing this?
They did a Direct where they were all puppets for an entire Direct.
That is so gross.
Yeah.
I never saw that one.
No, I didn't either. I think it happened last year sometime.
Okay.
So that's my prediction. They're going to have at least one segment where it's not humans. They're going to do something weird.
Yeah.
It's going to be a cartoon character or one of their characters, like fucking Mario comes out.
Okay.
Plunging everybody or something,
Well, that'll be interesting. All right, cool. Should I do one? Should we switch off?
We're going to go back and forth.
Okay. Well, I know you probably wrote this one down too, but this is a serious prediction.
Okay.
This is virtual console details.
Oh, okay.
I think they need this. So they don't need it.
Is this a prediction or are you just... What's going on here?
Well, I want it. I want it real bad.
Well, tell me what the prediction is.
The prediction is
don't give me this...
that Nintendo will release virtual console details, and it will not launch until at least I'm going to say September of this year.
Okay. Log
But
it down.
they will announce that GameCube games are coming to Switch Virtual Console.
Okay.
Specifically.
When they talk about it. Mm-hmm. Oh, this ties into my prediction.
And
my prediction
well, what's yours?
is there is either no talk about Virtual Console.
You can't have
at
this is
E3?
two predictions.
No. I'm just saying it's either there's no talk or they're going to say we're not ready to talk about it now.
Okay.
That's my prediction. My prediction is you either don't see Virtual Console at all,
Yeah.
or they say not ready to talk about it at this time.
Yeah.
I think that they are really fucked with Virtual Console.
Yeah.
If they're not able to release their online until next year, I'm worried. I'm worried.
Well, they may have prioritized.
So this is a good one because it's like direct competition.
Yeah, I'm assuming. So Virtual Console is such a clear win.
Oh yeah.
That just prints them money.
Exactly.
And it gets
It seems like
the Switch in your hands for more of your time because it's like you go there for multiple consoles. You go there for
if
Super
I could play
Nintendo,
GameCube games on my Switch, that would be it.
Yeah, I would just play Metroid Prime until
I'd
I die.
quit my job. I'd break up with my girlfriend. I would just fucking.
You'd probably get fired.
I would just live on the streets with my Switch.
Yeah, well,
I wouldn't even need a home. I'd move out.
See, Nintendo, you got fans that are really dedicated.
Okay.
So one of my other, this is kind of more of a
you get these bullshit cop out
one
predictions.
No, it's not. It's not a cop out. It's
Okay.
just so one of the worst parts of the Switch reveal conference that they had was the translation.
Yeah.
It absolutely killed it. So first of all, having the cultural disconnect of them speaking Japanese.
Well, that was a Japanese conference, dude.
I know
This is going to be for America.
That's totally fine. But that's what they offered to us. That was our announcement of the Switch. Just
Right.
like everyone else.
That's true.
So we see people speaking Japanese. We have no fucking idea what they're talking about. And then the translators.
And they come out with like fists on or
Yeah,
whatever.
fists
I
and
don't
like
know
squid
what that-
stuff
yeah.
and whatever, trying to be funny and it's not
The
funny.
hat. They were wearing the Mario hat with the eyeballs on it.
And all the.
Yeah.
I think the translators could have turned that around, could have made it more fun,
Okay.
could have picked up the pieces and
Your
given us a
predictions-
decent conference.
Your
I
predictions
think
have a lot of backstory before
Yeah,
they're
I
going
think-
on here.
in Nintendo's conference, if there are if I'm assuming Shigeru is going to be there and like
Okay.
a bunch of other people from Japan, if that is the case, the translation is just going to be equally as bad as it was at the past conferences.
I mean, this isn't my prediction, but I don't think there's going to be any Japanese at all. I think it's going to be like
think it's just gonna be a
I think
Nintendo
it's going to be
Direct
like
in
their
America?
latest directs, where like there's almost no humans at all. It's almost just all trailers, especially if they're doing it for 30 minutes. That's not a
That's
prediction.
the thing.
That's not a prediction.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like they've let on that they're only going to have 30 minutes for this direct. So
Yeah.
maybe it is just going to be trailer.
Yeah, it
But
could be.
basically, I guess what my prediction is, they're not going to improve their translation and stage presence if they have Japanese speakers on stage.
Yeah, totally. This is almost a bonus one since you mentioned Miyamoto. This is a bonus prediction. I think Miyamoto is going to do his infamous Jimmy Fallon thumbs up
Okay.
at some point during the Nintendo conference.
Which he did at the Switch reveal too.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, so my final Nintendo prediction. This is my cop-out bullshit one. Nintendo will announce another IP that looks stupid but will probably be fun.
Okay. Interesting.
That's my final Nintendo prediction.
Yeah, that's interesting. I have a pretty negative one.
Okay.
I just wrote down on my list shovelware. I think that some part of their direct is going to be a game that we do not give a shit about.
What? How do you define?
I'm not saying
We don't give a
just
shit.
we.
Like you or me.
So here, we'll
Maybe
call
it has to be you or me because like
Yeah.
how do we say what the audience?
Well, I'm gonna
wants?
call
the
it
audience
core
is gonna write
gamers.
in and be like, "Fuck you, Sean. I love that game."
Okay, I'm gonna
Trash
call it like
shoveling
I'm gonna
game.
call it core gamers. Like they're
Uh-huh.
gonna announce something that is not for core gamers. That's like a family game night or something like that.
I got a better way for you to describe this potentially. Like you know how they do like did like Wii Fit and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Yeah.
Because yeah, not a game, but but targeting like the general audience that they had with the Wii.
Yeah. It's not a great
Because that's
prediction.
really, really ambiguous. I don't know how we define that as like
Yeah.
you getting a point.
Yeah.
Like
Well, here, how about can I do a prediction for something that's not going to happen? that people might think is going to happen.
Yeah, like I just did with Virtual Console.
Okay, there is not going to be a game from Retro Studios.
Oh, that's a good one. Okay, let's lock that
There's
in.
no way that they're actually making a big game for anything right now.
Ooh,
they don't have
that
a
is
single
bold prediction.
They don't have a single job opening at their studio.
Really?
And they've been so gutted at this point. Armature is like half of their workforce.
Damn.
And
I didn't
everyone's,
realize that
like,
they didn't have a
fled.
single job opening.
I looked earlier because I wanted to make this prediction, and I was like, that's a huge
bad sign.
That's big evidence.
Because if someone's really making a game and ramping up for it, they're hiring like crazy usually.
Yeah. And I don't think they've been hiring for a while. And their website right now is so focused on the Wii U Donkey Kong game that they put out.
Yeah.
And the Wii and Tropical Freeze.
They've just gone completely
It's just
under.
like they haven't really been moving much. So as much as I would love for them to make a new Metroid game, I don't think the same studio is there.
Yeah, right. Because like you said, those guys have gone to Armature, right? So like they're not even
and elsewhere. I'm assuming most of them went
like the people
somewhere
who
else.
the people who wanted to make Metroid aren't there.
Yeah.
So the people who like this happens a lot, just like with fans, they think, oh my gosh, I want this studio that I really love to make this game franchise that I really loved, but that happened 10 years ago.
Yeah.
And the way the game industry works, like those people probably aren't there. Mm-hmm. And it's the reason
all about
it's
the
the reason
people.
why we're not getting Half-Life Episode 3. The people who were making Half-Life games aren't at Valve anymore,
'Cause they're
and
rich now.
everyone who's there doesn't want to make Half-Life. So
Yeah.
the game's not going to happen.
Yeah.
Okay, well that's it for Nintendo then.
All right.
Nintendo
Moving on.
predictions. Next up, Sony. Our boy,
right,
Sony.
Cool.
The PlayStation. My first prediction is Days Gone is out this fall. They will show a new trailer.
Is that the Bend game?
Yeah.
Okay.
They will show a new trailer that features the motorcycle.
Okay. That's very specific.
Yeah.
You've got two there, so you have to have two conditions met.
Yeah, exactly. But I could get a half point.
No,
on
let's
that.
not do half points.
No, we're doing half points. We
Really?
got to do half points.
Everyone does half points.
Okay, well, let's see what happens.
say it's all or
We'll
nothing.
see what happens when
We'll
we
see
get
what
this.
happens.
Okay, all or nothing. Well, I'll go all or nothing because I believe in that prediction. I believe that the next time they show it, they have to show you the motorcycle because that's like one of the coolest parts of their game.
But
it's
then-
an open world game about a motorcycle gang, and
Yeah.
you can like upgrade your motorcycle and do shit with it. Mm-hmm. Or so I've heard.
Yeah.
I may have friends over
Allegedly.
there these days at that studio.
Oh,
I
so
met
you've
him at
got
E3
an
last
inside.
year.
You're cheating.
I'm not cheating. I'm just saying
You're a
like
dirty cheater.
I'm just saying that that's been said before.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. Well, I'll start off with a kind of boring but
Oh,
specific one here. Last of Us 2, Destiny, and God of War 3 will dominate the Sony presentation. Those will be
Like
the
those will
three
be the
pillars.
majority of the time.
I don't think the majority of the time, but those will be the three pillars around which everything is built. So those are the three that are kind of like, so it won't be the most time because indies are going
I'm
to take a while.
blinking really hard right now. I'm trying to figure out how Sean is explaining this as a prediction.
I don't think
like,
it'll be in terms of time because they'll have
how
tons
do
of
we,
indie
How do we
stuff.
validate whether those are the pillars of the presentation? Like, was one start at the beginning, one's in the middle, one's at the end? Is that what you mean?
I think it will be that most likely, but what I'm saying is more that those
Because if those games are in the presentation, how do you
the
define
most,
if they're a pillar?
they'll get the most screen time individually. They'll have the longest trailers. They'll have
Okay.
the most hype. They will be the ones where someone comes out on stage from that studio and talks about them.
Okay. I don't think anyone's going to come out and talk about those games, by the way.
All right.
I think they're going to do what they did last year, where it was just trailer after trailer after
That's
trailer.
fine. I doubt it.
Okay, next Sony prediction from me. There will be a new Death Stranding trailer that reveals another different big Hollywood star that'll be in this game.
Wow. Okay. Interesting.
I think we're just gonna keep getting these trailers that hey, look, here's the new actor that I'm friends with that I'm
Because
putting
they've
in
done
my
that
game
3 times, right?
2 times.
Who are you thinking of?
It's the first one with Walking Dead guy,
Yeah.
and then the second one with I don't know his name.
There was one
Mikhail,
with
whatever.
Guillermo del Toro.
Yeah,
wasn't
but
there?
he wasn't like he was in it. But I
Yeah.
mean, like they were. It also had the other actor. I'm trying to think. I don't know his name, but like,
Mickelson or something.
yeah, something like that. Yeah, yeah.
Mix Mickelson.
Yes, Mix Mickelson. That's it. Okay, that's
All right,
my
that's
prediction.
a good one. That's a good one. So here's a way out there one.
Oh, that's gonna be my next one. My final one's a way out there one.
Should I save mine for my final one?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So my next one will be that They will emphasize VR. Their VR selection is actually going to be pretty
Oh
large.
wow, you think they're going to show it? Okay, so they're going to
I
emphasize
think
it
so,
on the
because that's a competitive advantage that they have.
They completely ignored it last year.
Yep.
They didn't show anything on VR.
Yeah.
At the
I think
conference.
enough time has passed that a lot of those indies that made big bets on VR are kind of getting towards the end of production.
Well, they just hit the 1 million milestone. 5
they hit
million
the 1
games
million,
are sold.
more than 1 million milestones.
Yeah, that's true.
And this is one way. So they're on top right now.
Yeah.
But they still need a way to differentiate themselves from Microsoft, especially with Scorpio coming out.
VR is the big
VR is what
thing,
they have. Yeah, that's their pocket pick right now. So I think that's going to be a large part of the conference, and I will go as far as to say that they will announce at least 3 big budget VR games.
Whoa, okay.
Yeah.
Mark it down.
Putting it all on
at
the line.
least 3.
I will mark it down.
Okay.
'Cause I'm going to forget.
Okay, my final Sony announcement. This is my fucking way out there one. This is the like basically I'm throwing away points.
Okay.
But I want it to happen. Sony announces one new big Vita game.
Oh, okay.
That's what I'm gonna leave it at. Like
Oh,
it's
wow.
so we're gonna get one
Damn.
like a swan song Vita game
Yeah.
for at the conference.
That would be
Or,
really cool.
Yeah, I don't know if they would.
not happening.
I don't know if they would show it like with the trailers, like they show other games, since like it would look really out of place in a PS4
Yeah.
showcase.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, how
at the
would they
show,
show
like
that?
maybe this isn't like maybe this doesn't take place in the conference, but like there's a new big game that's revealed at E3 week. Like maybe they
Yeah.
have it on the show floor. Or
Now, what do you
something.
mean by big?
Like this is hard to, but like what we would maybe consider like a AAA game.
Okay.
Like
Didn't Sony specifically say they're not developing AAA games for the Vita anymore?
I'm just going out there. Like maybe we get something either from a first party studio or from a third party studio that's just. I'm trying to think of what was the last game that was like Monster Hunter for Vita that was in.
I know what
only
you're talking. Soul
Japanese,
Sacrifice?
not Soul Sacrifice.
There are so many of them, actually.
I know they're all. There's a ton of Monster.
You mean
Hunter
the more
lookalikes.
more sci-fi one?
The one where you were sentenced to jail for like a
yeah,
million
and
years and you had to work
like
your
a
way
number
out
of
of it.
days.
Yeah, I have it on my Vita. I
Yeah.
can't remember what the name of it, but like that.
Yeah. Okay.
So I think we'll get like one big game
Yeah.
from them. That's my
Okay.
hope.
Okay. Whew. Good luck on that one.
Yeah.
Well, here's my way out there one that doesn't even really make sense, but it's something I want Sony to do. I think indies will get even more support because that's a huge business right now. The
Okay.
middle of the market is coming back.
Is
okay?
this more backstory for your
Yeah,
prediction?
THQ,
Okay, shit.
THQ and other companies like
THQ
that
Nordic?
fell out.
Okay,
They
okay.
fell out of the market. We
Yes.
don't buy those games anymore, and so they weren't needed.
Uh-huh.
Indies rose up from these small games to pretty big budget games at this point, and I think they're filling that
millions
space
of
again.
dollars. Like they're definitely A games.
Many
at this
millions
point.
of billions of dollars. So I think that Sony will launch an indie specific publishing arm.
Whoa, interesting.
Something like Devolver Digital, but Sony's own brand that has tons of resources to go out and help indie studios get up and running.
Yeah, since they kind of folded in the indie stuff they had before. They were incubating lots of studios at
Yeah.
Sony Santa Monica and Sony
Yep.
San Diego.
Yep. So like that game company, Giant Sparrow, all
Yeah.
those guys, I think they will put more effort into that arm of Sony and hopefully make it a bigger part of their business.
Yeah, because
and
they've
go out
locked
and
down the
find these
AAA
people.
stuff.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah. So it's just another way for them to differentiate and to get out there and like take what they have, which is really stellar, and somehow make it better.
Okay, I like it. It's an interesting, bold prediction.
Bold.
A lot better than your 3 pillars of the fucking conference prediction or whatever the hell that is. All right, last one, Microsoft.
Yeah.
Last but not least, I hope that Microsoft brings the heat this year because they fucking need to.
Mm-hmm.
So here's my first prediction. Now, with Microsoft, I think we're both like at a bit of a loss because really we just have no idea what they're doing. Like
Yeah.
it's very unpredictable, I would say, right now. I feel like they're at the point where they could really just kind of blow us all away, or they could just do nothing and really, really fall behind.
Yeah.
So
it's their game. Like the ball's in their court. They can upset Sony whenever they feel like it.
I guess. I mean, they really need to come out firing with new games. And that's where my first prediction comes in.
All right.
Microsoft announces a new exclusive game. Xbox exclusive. Xbox/PC, since all of their games are on PC. It's an RPG. Because they do not have anything like that. Anything at all. And I think that they need that. Like with Sony just dropping Horizon and getting like Nier, Persona, all these awesome
Neo.
RPG games. Yeah, like Neo. I mean, it's
Bloodborne.
more a Souls-like game, but I guess it's an RPG.
Mm-hmm.
I have a hard time calling it like a role-playing game when there's like not really like a story you're role-playing, but you know, I guess you're role-playing a character. So that's my first announcement. It's not very specific, but I'm having a hard time coming up with specific
Same here.
things for Microsoft.
And I actually realized I only had 2 written down.
Oh, shit.
So I just wrote another one down. And it's a long shot.
Uh-oh.
I'm going to save it till the end.
Okay.
My first one is more of a... Sorry, a lot of these are more like philosophical, like how they're going to
Oh my God.
position.
And then you need to fucking tell me a story about
It's
why
more
this
like how they're
prediction makes any sense.
More about how they're going to position themselves. And so for this one, I think they're going to put the spotlight on Scorpio. They're going to downplay the Xbox One to the point where they maybe don't even mention it that much. I think the only time they're mentioning Xbox One is to sell the Scorpio by saying that it's backwards compatible and saying like these games are out this fall and they'll be a great experience on Scorpio and they'll also be playable on Xbox One.
Yeah.
So I think Scorpio is going to take over and they're going to spend some time with hardware porn. They're just going to cart it out there. They're going to have it rise out of a bowl of
This thing better
steam
look
and
fucking
fire.
cool.
And
Xbox One is ugly.
And then
as
we're gonna
shit.
have like the cut to the crazy video where like you're zooming down the sides of the rendered console.
And then they're gonna have
to crazy dubstep
more developers
music.
just talking about it's the most powerful console we've ever seen.
Yeah,
we're able to do
teraflops.
things we've never done before.
They'll call out teraflops as if anyone gives a shit about teraflops.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's the prediction, and it's interesting because people are talking about the dev kit now, and that thing is beastie.
Yeah.
It has like 32 gigs of RAM. I think more.
I may or may not have already seen it.
You probably have. I'm sure you have, and it's probably covered with like some zebra cage, like the Xbox One was.
Yeah.
But I think it has 32 gigabytes plus whatever the actual console has, which is crazy.
Yeah.
I have 8 gigabytes of RAM in my PC right now. I haven't upgraded in 7 years.
Yeah.
But
Okay. I don't really know how we score that fucking prediction at all, but I guess we'll figure it out.
It's a judgment call.
We'll figure it out. It's a judgment call.
Was Scorpio the focus or was Xbox One the focus?
Okay. That makes sense. Okay. My next prediction, Crackdown is MIA again / not coming this year.
Okay.
So it's either not there or it's not coming out this year.
Yeah.
That game has gone silent for a long time, and that is a bad sign.
Yeah.
Just like Scalebound.
Yeah.
You didn't see that game for a couple years, and then
they
it was
canceled
gone.
it.
It was gone.
Yep.
Phantom Dust. They announced a remake of Phantom Dust or a new game in the Phantom Dust universe.
Yeah.
Gone. Canceled. So I don't know. Something's going on with these Microsoft exclusives, and I'm worried about it. So that's my prediction.
Okay. Well, I have another philosophical one here that I'm actually going to skip. I'm not going to do it.
Oh, okay.
Because I just thought of one that's way more specific.
Okay.
But what I was going to talk about was how they're going to basically highlight sports games and shooters, and that's it. That's their angle. But instead, my specific non-bullshit prediction will be...
Okay, thank you.
They're going to resurrect another Sega franchise and have an Xbox exclusive Sega game.
Ooh, I like
So
that
I'm
one a
thinking
lot.
like
Because
Panzer
Sega did
Dragoon.
say they're bringing 5 franchises back.
Yeah, so I think
could be one of them.
I think they're partnering with Sega and they're going to bring it back in a big
Oh,
way.
Panzer Dragoon, that's a good one. Like people love that game.
I don't think that's what it'll be, but I'm thinking that kind of thing, just like out of left field.
Yeah. Okay, I'm in. Dude, if they bring Vector Man back, fucking Vector Man, Xbox One exclusive, I would turn my Xbox One on.
Oh,
Yeah.
man. You never do that.
I never do
You've
that.
never even done that.
Okay, final prediction. This one, it's not out there, but it's bold because maybe they even already have this. I don't know. Maybe you can call me out on it. Microsoft's Xbox Scorpio gets a name.
Okay.
Xbox One Elite.
Ooh, you think?
Yeah.
Ooh, interesting. Okay.
Unless I want to say they have an Elite controller. I don't know if they have an Elite console.
No, they don't.
Okay.
The 360 had an Elite console.
Okay.
It was black.
Okay.
And the reason I don't think they'll do that is because that brand for 360 was a super incremental upgrade. It was like a larger hard drive and I think
no
HDMI
and no 3 red rings anymore.
No, it definitely had ROD.
Oh, did it?
Yeah, for sure.
Okay.
So they added HDMI, they added a wireless card, and they added a bigger hard drive, and that's it.
Okay.
So I think they'll distance themselves from that moniker just because it's not enough. Like, this has to be new and it has to feel like next gen.
Maybe it'll just be Xbox Elite.
I don't know. You're the one making the bad prediction.
Fuck.
So
Well,
yeah,
okay. Am I locked into Xbox One Elite?
Yep,
or am I?
yep.
Ah, yeah. God damn it. Okay. Well, fine. Next, last prediction.
All right, my last prediction, and this one is interesting because I don't really know much about where this company is at right now. So for all I know, they could have even announced something already, but I think they'll also have a big new game from Rare. They'll try
besides Sea of Thieves?
Shit.
Dun, dun, dun. Just busted that prediction, dude.
Well, Sea of Thieves is cross-platform, right?
No.
No? It's just on Xbox?
Well, I mean, and PC because all Xbox games are on Xbox and PC.
All right, throw that one in the trash.
Okay, that's going in the trash.
Throw that one. I'm thinking real fast right now. This is going to be an on-the-fly Xbox prediction.
Okay, on the fly Xbox predictions with Game Stuff podcast. Brad Snyder here, just watching the player in the field over here. He's sweating. He's preparing the shot. He's positioning himself. It looks like he's about to fail, but I don't know. Maybe he'll turn this thing around somehow. The other players are coming into the field now. They're running towards him. They've got their gear on. It seems like Sean has forgotten his pants.
Okay,
Oh no,
I got
he
it.
has forgotten his pants.
I got it. Microsoft will also act like they have a presence in the VR space.
Okay, well, I mean, they already have announced that Oculus is going to work with Microsoft Xbox.
All right, I didn't know that.
Oh my god! And he swings and he misses. All the players are now jumping on him. He's going down. There's blood everywhere.
I'll say I've only got 2 predictions, then I'll just take a point hit.
You're gonna take a point hit.
Unless I can think of something in the next 2 seconds.
Just like name anything, something random. Like I'll give you a prediction.
Name anything. New Microsoft is going to announce a new Dragon Ball Z game.
All right.
There's anything.
How about let's to give you a chance here. There will be a Dragon Ball Z game shown at the Microsoft conference.
Yeah.
Okay. Good. Locked it in.
Doesn't have to be exclusive or anything.
No. It's just shown, even if it's in a sizzle reel.
Sure.
It's there.
Even if someone in the audience is cosplaying Goku, it counts.
But it has to be only Goku. That's the only one that counts.
Okay, that's fine.
Okay.
Fine.
That's it. That's it, everybody. Those are the E3 predictions for Game Stuff Podcast 2017.
Yep.
And actually, that's going to be the end of our show today.
Yeah, but we'd love to hear your predictions.
Ooh, yeah. Yes.
Hit us up on Twitter. Hit us up on email.
At gamestuffpodcast@gmail.com. And Twitter is @GameStuffPod.
Yep.
So write in, tell us your predictions. Tell us what you're excited about for E3. I know I am like insanely excited. I was thinking about it the whole drive home. I was like, I cannot wait. I'm so amped to see what Nintendo brings to the table.
Yep.
I'm so intrigued by Microsoft and where they're going to position the Scorpio. And I love my fucking PlayStation 4 so much. So I just want to see all those cool games again.
The great thing that's happening right now is we have the entrenched consoles like the PS4, the Xbox One that have been out forever. So they're mature and super badass games are going to be announced for them. And they probably have tons and tons of games in the works right now. And then we also have the Switch, which is completely new blood, fresh.
New blood
coming
in the
out,
ring.
Coming out with maybe not quite as impressive a lineup, but they've got the variability. Like they can do anything.
They've got the heart and they've got the fans. And we're going to see what they're bringing to this boxing match It's going to be a hell of a week. I'm going to be gone.
Yeah, you're not gonna be there.
I'm going to be watching it all,
That's fine.
hopefully at home with like my dad.
Well, I mean, it's not like I'm going to the press conferences.
Yeah, we're not going to the press conferences. We all watch it online, but
It's the best experience, honestly.
totally is. So we're really excited. That's it for this week's Game Stuff podcast. Thanks for hanging out with us.
Thanks
and
for
just
hanging.
talking games and stuff.
Listening games, too.
Listening games and reading games. Readers, listeners, we love
We
you.
still don't know.
Yeah, we're trying to figure
What
it
they
out.
are.
But you're the game pals, and that's all that matters.
Yeah.
So we'll see you next week, guys.
See you guys.
It's me.